This is Swanshurst Secondary School in Birmingham, a multi-ethnic all-girls school which lies just a few miles from the city centre, close to Edgbaston Cricket Club. It's a former grammar school that's been progressively expanded and now occupies a huge 16-acre site. It's home to nearly 1,800 pupils, teaching staff of 150, and has an annual budget of £7.5 million.
We've got to a point where teaching staff can focus on what they're employed to do and what they do best, which is actually educating the students in the school. And obviously their education is what our core purpose is. So the more we're able to employ support staff who are able to support the teaching staff, the better.
In this programme, we'll be going behind the scenes with the support team, reception, finance and administration, the learning mentors, parent link workers, the nurse, reprographics and photocopying, the caretaker and his team, the careers advisors, the IT department and the lab technicians. We'll join some of them on a typical day when they hit the ground running with broken boilers, exam tension and building chaos. They're counting heads in a vital census and checking sick notes.
Good afternoon, this is Tasha Griffith calling from Swanshurst School. I'm just phoning to inquire why your daughter's not in school today.
Where are you going? Then? Where are you going? CLC. Joe.
The receptionist is one of the most important people we have in the school because it is she that first meets members of the public, first meets the students when they come to her with any difficulties, answers the telephone, and it is the first impression that anybody gets of Swanshurst.
It is mad. Everybody phones at reception, nobody's got a direct number. I get the girls in, the teachers in, the supply staff in, the builders in,
And just give her a note when she comes back in tomorrow. All right, thank you, bye.
Anybody else that wants to come in. You just cope, you just do. Finish at 4:30 and everything's done. The whole day's finished, ready for 8:15 next morning.
Well, my job basically, I mean, it covers from the roof down to the actual ducting. I mean, it's easy to say what a caretaker doesn't do sometimes. We're called on many, many things. I've been doing it now since 1968. It's changed. I have a lot more responsibility. Before it was basically opening and locking and just cleaning. Now, obviously, I'm a contracts manager. My hats I wear now are so diverse. It's brilliant.
Great character. He looks like a biker. And I think he would be the first to say that he is, you know, born-again biker. Earrings and tattoos, but fantastic site manager.
My wife, her father was a caretaker, my brother's a caretaker, my brother-in-law's a caretaker. So you'll find that a lot of the times in the past, families of caretakers used to run them.
He has a finger on the pulse of what's going on in the school. He's greatly respected by staff and students.
Living on the site is like any tight job. You have to try and enjoy it because I don't go home.
Extremely good at his job, possibly, as he would tell you, the best caretaker in Birmingham.
Hi, Dot. I've got Terenia on the phone. She wants to know how can she put the heating on in her room.
Is it a job for the best caretaker in Birmingham? It's one of the coldest days of the year. By now the school building should be comfortable and warm, but staff and students all say it's getting cooler.
We've got 3 boilers. The number 1 boiler is firing well. Number 2, we're told there's a crack, and number 3, for some reason, is a fault on number 3. And I think he's just left site to get some parts. Right. So we're running on 1. So if number 1 obviously packs up, we're in a problem.
And the bitterly cold weather is creating work for Dawn. This is the sickness rush hour, a relentless round of calls detailing a bewildering array of ailments and bugs blighting the pupils of Swanshurst. But are they all genuine?
You can tell if it's the girls that are phoning or the parents that are phoning, or sometimes you can suss them out. Sometimes you can get the same girls in the same form phoning one after another within like 5 minutes, and you can just read into who's telling the truth and who isn't, and if it's mum, or if they're giggling in the background or anything.
Please note bhejein. Shukriya. Tomorrow. Yeah, can you send a letter, please?
The multilingual team of learning mentors chase up the sickness calls.
Okay, and do you think she'll be in school tomorrow at all?
Learning mentors are professional people who've had the opportunity to have background working with youngsters, and they can be used either to support, for instance, students whose attendance is an issue or who have difficulty in arriving at school on time for a whole raft of reasons.
If you can just give her a note to bring with her when she does return, that'll be fine. Thank you. Bye.
But the moment now that we were told number 2 boiler has got a crack at the back, so we've had to turn that off. And unfortunately then we've gone down today, number 3 boiler is not working. We've got an engineer out, she's come to get parts, so we're basically running on 1 boiler. So as you can imagine, on a school of this size, if this one suddenly packs up, we've got a problem.
That threat is starting to worry the exams officer, who is busy organising a biology A-level paper in the lower school block.
A few years ago when I arrived here, it was a standard practice that in any external or internal examination, teachers invigilated, and we thought that was a waste of their time, valuable resource, qualified teachers standing, moderating or invigilating in an examination. So we recruited our own team of exam invigilators, lay people who have come in and who, under the direction of the exams officer, come and do it, and that frees up teachers' time.
You're now subject to the regulations of the examination. You're forbidden to communicate any way with, seek assistance from or give assistance
It's one of the
to
25 duties that the government have identified as coming over to administrative staff, and therefore the admin people are picking it up and the teachers are losing it as a role.
Check now in your pockets that you do not have any unauthorised materials such as notes, books, papers, calculator cases.
During public examinations and internal examinations in summer and around Christmas time, we now have external invigilators that come in and therefore relieve staff, teaching staff of that burden. And we've been able to do a massive amount of professional development and curriculum development work with those staff when they've been released from teaching year 11s or year 10s.
There are lists of things that can go wrong. The wrong child in the wrong room is one of the favourites. Girls just go into a mad panic, I think, when there are exams on or what have you. So they will go completely to the wrong room. So, of course, they're not only the invigilators looking for the student, we're looking for the student. They've got half an hour to enter a room once an exam has started. So if they don't arrive at all, we ring home to try and track them down and get them into school.
Today, the main problem is the heating. So what will happen if the 1 remaining boiler packs up?
I would take priority on any heating that we had, because obviously we can't mess about, if you like. I would either rehouse the girls in another room with a block that had got heat, or I would requisition any heaters that we had got, put them in the exam rooms I was using, and made sure the girls got the best that they could have.
Being a specialist science school, Swanshurst has a large team of lab technicians, and defrosting organs may take a little longer today.
People think we wash up. We wash up and clean the labs, basically. That's what they think we do all day. We do that, but we do a lot more besides. We handle lungs and hearts and things like this. Eyes. I don't like eyes. They are grisly.
But I would say if the boiler was to go off now at 11, by 12 o'clock, people would be saying we're cold. So obviously it's very important that number 3 is put right.
All this is happening while a critical head count is underway. It's taking place here and at every school in the country.
It's a census we have to do once a year. It's called PLASC, that's the pupil level annual school census. It's the largest collection of data that the DFES ask us for every year, all schools. And basically it's collecting everything we know about the children we have on our roll, from their ethnicity, language, religion, whether they're a free school meal or not, their exam results.
This all-important census snapshot will help determine next year's budget. The busy admin staff collate and email the data, all a far cry from the way things used to be.
When people talk about school officers, I think they have a perception of the 1950s. Well, we've moved on since then. We've moved on considerably.
We work all the way through the holidays, and people will say to us, "For this, you get 6 weeks off." But the support staff are in. We are here throughout the 6 weeks holiday.
The boiler repairman is now back on site, and after a rigorous examination, has no problem tracing the fault.
Faulty switch, the Nothing more, nothing less.
Can you go get that going like the music studio?
But until he's fixed it, the temperature keeps dropping. But Natalie's keeping warm. She's one of today's pupil receptionists. They help the support team by running messages and showing visitors around the school.
It's a note for you, miss.
Okay, thanks, Natalie. See you in class.
Bye.
Back down the boiler room, the repairman's early confidence of a solution to the school's heating crisis is proving a little premature.
We're just trying to find out.
I'd go to LS1.
We need to go back to LS1.
I'd go to LS1.
Problems. At reception, Dawn's grappling with cancelled classes and switched rooms. The sixth formers valiantly toil away at their biology exam while, not far away, the builders, a virtual permanent feature on a site of this size, bash away.
It sometimes feels as if you're in a revolving door and trying to get out. But it's never dull. It's very exciting, and we have a great laugh most of the time. And with the team that I have around me, I know at the end of the day we'll sort it.
And Derek Jones is here to sort things out with the latest renovation of the art room.
It's great to have around in crisis. He's, I would say, my right hand in a sense. He's the one that I say, go and talk to the builders about this, and he can talk to them in a man-to-man way, and they would respond in a way that they wouldn't respond to me.
How long do you think you'll be in here?
8 weeks contract.
8 weeks. And then you're going from this room into that one, or you're going to hopefully do the two together?
Do the two together, Derek.
Okay, that's fine then. Everything going all right?
Yeah, fine.
Okay,
fine,
cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers.
Okay then, stop writing now please and shut your booklets. Make sure all the details...
The
are
exam's
filled in on the
finished,
front
but
and also
Derek's
that you've
work is
signed.
far from over.
I'm just about to start to lock up now. It's we've got the 4:15, and it takes us around about 3 hours. I'm going to start locking up over centre and work our way back.
Derek walks over 2,000 miles a year securing and checking this huge site.
Well, the keys, I mean, when I first came here, they were pass keys. But basically, a classroom in those days had nothing in them. But you've walked around today, now you've seen our computers, suites. And whereas if somebody had found a key, they'd have gone through the whole of the school. Upper school had one key, lower school and centre had one key. So we tried to find, if I put those keys down, the chances of you, if I said to you, find the computer room on there. So it's a pain to us, but it's the security.
At long last, the boiler is fixed. It's been a busy day for the support staff at Swanshurst, but they've grown used to that.
Teachers coming to teaching to teach, and I think by relieving them of the bureaucratic burden, you're enabling them to do what they want to do and improve their teaching and learning, to enable the students and pupils of this school to improve their life chances, because that's what we're all about at the end of the day.